I just finished watching the Cutthroat finale, and I'm currently watching the reunion special. I'm recording my video parts during the commercial break because I don't want to miss the reunion, and I kind of don't want to pause it to wait to watch it later because it's kind of giving me a little bit of fuel for this video. So the episode starts off with the gulag, the final gulag, and I am more anxious for this one than any of the other ones. The guys start things off with the whole pole pushing the other person towards their barrels thing, and I am on the floor. That's why I'm on the floor. I watch these things on the floor. I do not watch them on the couch because I get really, really into it. I am on the floor banging for Derek to win, but Tyler ends up beating him. But Derek did not give up the fight, and I was truly happy to see him go out fighting. The girls' gulag ended in a way that I didn't want it to end at all. What this gulag entails is they have a chain link sort of almost fence type thing to keep them in the area that they need to be, and Paula kept touching these chains and ended up DQing herself, and that really made me sad because I wanted to see Paula win one of these for once. It would have been really great to see her happy for once. So 2 of my favorites went home this week, and that makes me really sad. Now that everybody is safe from elimination, they're all voicing how great it would be for them to win and what they would do with the money, and Brad is in the boat where he's been on 7 challenges. This is his 8th, and he's actually voicing the fact that he wants to retire from the challenges. I mean, if you've done 7 challenges and never won one, and you went on your 8th one hoping to win for once, I would want to go out on a good note if you're going to retire, so he's really hoping that he could pull out the big W. Tyler and Jen came up with the Cutthroat superlatives, and they were hilarious. Some of the topics that they came up with were just hysterical. Like, person to most likely die in a sex act gone wrong, and that went to Cara Maria. It's just hilarious. Some of the topics were just great. Abe, Laurel, and Sarah finally get together and talk about how they need to act like a team and put all of the hate this person, hate that person stuff behind them and get through the final challenge as a team. So the final challenge is called Checkpoints, and it's spelled like Czech Republic. And what it is pretty much a relay race with several checkpoints along the way. Before the challenge even starts, Sarah is seriously starting to doubt if she's even capable of hacking this final challenge. And I find it kind of funny because she's worried about all these other people slowing her down, and it ended up that she herself is worried about her own performance, and it's kind of funny that she's in that position. They start off the race, and the first checkpoint is seeing spots. It's pretty much a target practice type game. The blue team ended up getting to this checkpoint first, but the red team stole their lead from them whenever they finished it first. The next checkpoint is called So Tired, and they pretty much have to push these giant tractor tires to the next checkpoint, and this is where the gray team ends up passing the blue team. So we have red team first, gray team second, and the blue team third. The next one is called Down and Dirty, and they pretty much have to climb this ladder, enter this little hole in the wall, and then slide down into what looks like flour, and then go over this really, really low hurdle. And it looks really disgusting. I would not want to do that whatsoever. Once every team member is done with Down and Dirty, they run to the next checkpoint, which is called Free Ride. One team member lies on a stretcher and the rest of the teammates carry them for a lap around the airstrip and then to the next checkpoint. This is the point where Abe starts feeling really weird and he collapses and he just looks really sick. He kind of almost looks exactly like Coral did in Gauntlet 1 where she was collapsing and passing out from being poisoned by a spider bite, and she's deathly allergic to spider bites, so I was thinking maybe he was allergic to something that he ate that morning, but apparently he had heat exhaustion. He didn't eat or drink before the challenge, so he looked really bad. He ends up almost throwing his guts up from how sick he is, and he's unable to physically complete the challenge, so he's carted off to the hospital. And shortly after that, Sarah starts throwing up too and starts getting heat exhaustion as well. And TJ says that she's unable to complete the challenge, so Laurel, Cara Maria, and Luke are left to themselves. I bet at this point Laurel's thinking to herself that she was complaining about the wrong person. The next checkpoint is called Hardwood. They have to transfer an entire wood pile to a designated spot and then continue to the next checkpoint. And this one actually looks hard, especially for the people that had to carry their own teammate. It would be a lot of strain on your muscles, especially your arm muscles. In a final, you always have a puzzle to figure out, and it always comes down to the puzzle whether you win or you lose the final. And this final is no different. The final checkpoint is called Sign Language. You have all of these signs that are in Russian, and they have to remember where each sign goes and which way they're pointing. And then after they memorize this puzzle, they have to run, they have to crawl under barbed wire army style, and then swim across a lake, and then have to put this puzzle together. And if they don't get it correct the first time, they have to go all the way back to memorize it again, and then all the way back to figure it out. And it looks really hard. I think this is the hardest puzzle that any final has ever had. So I really do feel bad for these challengers having to do all of that just to figure out a puzzle. All in all, the red team figures out the puzzle first, and they head off to the finish line. Shortly after that, the gray team figures out their puzzle, and they stop running whenever they hear the red team celebrating. So the red team won. Brad finally won a challenge, and not only Brad, but Dunbar and Tyler also won their first challenge as well. It's just really good to see Brad win for once. After 8 challenges, he definitely deserves it, and I definitely think that this is a great way to go out and retire. I'm pretty sure he'll be back for another challenge. I mean, Mark ended up retiring, and he's back in a challenge. He was back in the duel too. So hopefully we'll see Brad again in the future. If not, it's been a good ride for him. And I think this challenge overall was really great. I liked it a lot. There was a lot of injuries and sicknesses in this challenge as well. I don't think I've ever seen this many sicknesses on a challenge ever, so this challenge has something for it. Until next challenge, I will see you guys later.